Hey guys, it's Wolverine here, and man, last night was pretty crazy, right? Of course, if you don't know, I was on the Squidtard live stream and everything. I was watching the game between Georgia and Notre Dame. Watching Georgia get their absolute crap pulled in, or pushed in, I mean, by Notre Dame. My goodness, man. Embarrassing loss for Georgia, and I'm all here for it. I mean, I'm sorry. Georgia fans deserved that loss. I mean, they've been chirping all year long about how they're the best team, how good they are, and everything. It's ridiculous. You know how Georgia fans are. They don't know when to shut up. And then Notre Dame comes out and humbles the Bulldogs. I just want to say, personally, first for me, thank you, Notre Dame, for humbling Georgia. And what can I say, man? Notre Dame, they played good. And what's funny is now Georgia fans are now coming out. Not a lot of them, not all of them. I'll admit, there are some cool Georgia fans. I mean, you know, some of them that are on the podcast with us, like Harry Legg, and then, of course, VicTube. He's also another pretty good, pretty cool Georgia fan. Yeah, not all Georgia fans are bad. Oh, man, not all of them are bad. There are some cool ones. But most of them suck. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, yeah, it's ridiculous. But, yeah, the excuses these Georgia fans are making. They are coming out and making excuses saying that Carson Beck wasn't playing. And that if he would have played, they won. They would have won. Dude, stop. Stop it, Georgia fans. You've literally needed star players again for Alabama to get hurt a few years ago to win the national championship in 21. What if I tell you, Georgia fans, that if those players wouldn't have gotten hurt, you wouldn't have beaten Bama in 21? What if I would have told you that? You was making fun of Alabama saying that, all these excuses. Yet you're coming out and making these same excuses. What is wrong with y'all? Oh my God. It's ridiculous. Like, you're out here making excuses saying that, if Carson Beck wasn't hurt, we would have beaten Notre Dame. Even with Carson Beck, y'all wouldn't have beaten Notre Dame. I will tell you, you still would not have beaten Notre Dame. Your offensive line got pushed around by Notre Dame. Like, Notre Dame was straight up dominating your offensive line. Even if you had Carson Beck, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, your offensive line was getting bullied by the Irish. And not to mention, your run game, y'all could have stopped the run game all game long. I mean, Riley Leonard was running all over you. Jeremiah Love had some solid runs. And then, not to mention, what really lost you the game, what really lost y'all the game was the last seconds of the second quarter, and then the first few minutes of the third quarter. When Notre Dame was up 6-3, okay, Georgia had a chance to take the knee into half, go into halftime down by one score. You was in your own territory. I mean, there wasn't even a lot of time left. So at that point, you probably just take a knee, right? Not Georgia. They try to go down the field, and what's it lead to? A strip sack, Notre Dame recovering, and then getting a touchdown. So Notre Dame goes up 13. Instead of going into half 6-3, they're going into half 13-3. And then at the beginning of the second half, you give up a kick return touchdown. So in the last, 30 seconds of game time, from the few seconds left in the second quarter to the first few seconds of the third quarter, you give up 14 points. And not to mention, not long ago, you gave up that other field goal to put Notre Dame up 6-3. So in reality, you gave up 17 points in a 5-minute span of game time. That's what lost y'all the game right there. That is what lost y'all the game. You cannot do that. Kirby and Georgia should have just taken a knee, but they didn't. And that's basically what lost y'all the game. Not to mention, just couldn't stop Riley Leonard from running all over you. Well, he had almost as much rushing yards as Georgia's entire team. Oh my gosh. Yeah. And I remember in live stream, let's be honest here, even Uncle Lou admits it, Kirby got out-coached by Marcus Freeman. Marcus Freeman out-coached him. I mean, let's be honest here. Kirby Smart got out-coached by Marcus Freeman. He got out-coached. And no, I'm not saying Marcus Freeman's a better head coach than Kirby. No, that's not what I mean. I still think Kirby's a better coach than Marcus Freeman. But yesterday, Marcus Freeman straight up out-coached Kirby. Which is insane. Listen, I know there's been some people making fun of Marcus Freeman for, losing to Marshall and then, of course, losing to Northern Illinois this year. But let's be honest here. You have to be downright stupid to not say Marcus Freeman's a good coach. He's a good coach. He is a good coach. Look what he's done at Notre Dame. He's, of course, now taking him to the semis and getting him, their first ever major bowl win in forever. Brian Kelly couldn't do that. Brian Kelly leading Notre Dame and then going to LSU is one of the best things to ever happen to Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman is an upgrade from Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly, listen, he's an okay coach. He's not bad. But let's be honest here. He's not winning you a national championship. He could possibly take you to the playoffs and, stuff like that. But he's not winning you a national championship, let alone he might not be winning a playoff game. Marcus Freeman, though, of course, now we've seen what he can do at Notre Dame. He's, of course, had multiple top 10 recruiting classes, I'm pretty sure now. What can I say, man? Marcus he's starting to build a juggernaut over there in Notre Dame. I remember, I was high on Notre Dame to begin the year. I was. And of course, everybody's like, man, ESPN hyping up Notre Dame once again. And I was actually believing the hype this year. I liked Riley Leonard. Jeremiah Love was a good running back. Notre Dame, with Marcus Freeman, they should have a good defense. I was high on Notre Dame this year. And, of course, when they lost to Northern Illinois, I was like, yep, never mind. I guess I was wrong on believing on the Notre Dame hype. I was wrong. But then, of course, now they do this. So, yeah. I guess I was right about Notre Dame. I said Notre Dame was going to be a top 5 team this year, that they was going to be a pretty dang good team. And I was kind of right. Besides that Northern Illinois loss, which, yes, that's a bad loss. But let's be honest here. Just because you have a bad loss doesn't mean you are a bad team. Look at Ohio State. They lost to Michigan, for crying out loud. Michigan. And Ohio State's been blowing out everybody they play in the playoffs. They, of course, blew out my Vols. It was ridiculous. We're not going to talk about that. And they blew out Oregon, who was the favorites to win it all. So, yeah, Ohio State, they look like an unstoppable force right now. They're probably going to win the national championship, which, of course, would be somewhat good for me because in the offseason I picked Ohio State to win the national championship. So, yeah, Ohio State's probably going to win it all. But yeah, man, what can I say? Ohio State's probably going to win the national championship. Congrats to Notre Dame on an amazing season. Probably one of the best seasons Notre Dame's ever had so far. Especially if they beat Penn State, which I think they will. Then, yeah, this is definitely going to go down to the history books for one of the best seasons Notre Dame has had in a long time. But, yeah, I guess, what can I say? No Mickey Mouse natty for Georgia.